Hello and welcome back to the Second Chance to Live channel here on YouTube. I'm happy to see that you decided to stop by to watch this video presentation. Thank you. In today's video presentation, I'm going to be sharing part 2 of an article series that I wrote several days ago by the title of Healing Beyond the Mind. I would encourage you to watch part 1 of this video series as part 1 builds upon part 2. I create video presentations of my articles because I found that individuals learn in different ways. Some individuals learn better through watching and listening, while other individuals learn better through reading. To empower individuals to learn better through watching and listening, I create YouTube video presentations of my articles. As you listen to this article being read and questions come to mind, please write those questions down and send them to me. All questions are good questions. In the event that you'd like to leave a comment, please do so. I would love to hear from you. So what I'll do is I'll put my glasses back on and bring up the article, part 2 of this series. Healing Beyond the Mind, part 2. In my experience, I began to realize that knowledge in and of itself could not heal every area of my life because of what remained hidden to my mind. In my experience, I began to heal beyond my mind when I realized that I needed to be healed in ways that only my soul and spirit could access. In my experience, when I began to heal in ways that only my soul and spirit could access, I began to thaw emotionally. In my experience, I began to thaw emotionally when I began to trust. In my experience, when I began to trust, as I took the time to look at patterns that kept me defensive and in an emotionally frozen state, I found hope. In my experience, as I found hope, I began to see life in a new and a different way. In my experience, I found that as I began to see life in a new and a different way, I slowly stopped feeling isolated and alienated from both myself and other people. In my experience, as I stopped feeling isolated and alienated, I found myself being able to identify with other people. In my experience, as I began to identify with other people, I found the ability to love and accept myself. As I started to love and accept myself, I discovered that I could move beyond being a human doing and allow myself to be a human being. In my experience, I was able to stop being a human doing and start being a human being. I discovered that I could create with my being. In my experience, as I discovered that I could create with my being, I began to perceive what had occurred in my life over the years in a different and new way. In my experience, as I started to perceive what occurred in my life over the years in a different and new way, I began to see that life was about a process and a journey, not a destination. In my experience, as I began to see my life as a process and a journey, not about a destination, I discovered that life was about learning. In my experience, as I discovered that life was about learning, I was able to stop judging my efforts. As I stopped judging my efforts, I was able to begin experiencing life in a new and vibrant way. In my experience, as I began experiencing life in a new and vibrant way, I started to take the risk to come out of hiding. In my experience, as I started to take the risk to come out of hiding, I began to realize that I could trust a loving God. This is the end of part 1. Part 2 of this video series. I will create part 3 of the video series here in the next day or so. Again, I want to thank you for being here and for taking the time to listen and watch this video presentation. Again, if you have any questions, please send those questions to me. All questions are good questions. If you'd like to leave a comment, I would also love to hear from you. You may do so through leaving it here on YouTube in their comment section, or through leaving a comment or question in my contact information page there on A Second Chance to Live. I'll say so long for now. God bless you, and please remember that you are loved by a loving God who wants the best for your life. And please do not forget, as I need to remember also, that you can trust the process, the loving God in yourself, and more will be revealed to you, my friend. The pieces of the puzzle will fall into place in the correct order and at the right time. God has the big picture, we don't. So as we trust Him, we can believe and we can be led into our destinies one day at a time. I'll say so long for now. Thank you again for your time, and God bless both you and your family. Thank you, my friend. Bye now.